I'm gonna link your channel in the chat. So first live on Sigma D Leo, big comeback. Just reassuring everybody that I still love One Piece. You know, I've been up to a lot, and today I will be. Um, I'm actually gonna have a special guest, SVZ, which lots of you already know
So
about him. SVZ, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. It was Canada Day yesterday, so I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And yeah, I'm glad to have you here. So a lot have happened recently. And my first question to you is this the best One Piece ever been?
Yeah, I think it is, man.
Damn, you answered that fast.
Which is, yeah. I've been thinking about it. It's like how can a manga go for 20 plus years, and now it's hitting like its peak. It's crazy because everything that has come before was fantastic, but now it's like the stakes are getting higher and
Yeah.
higher. And normally, mangas that go this long, is there any manga that has gone this long?
Maybe Detective Conan, but I'm not too familiar with it. Yo, what's
Maybe.
up, Ringo? We already have one guy in. He's
Yeah,
also a subscriber in my French channel.
the
So
French one.
yeah,
Oh, okay. What's up, Ringo?
yup. So Ringo is in the building. And as I said, a lot has been going on. So you're totally right, but I'm not sure if I'm willing or ready to say it's the best one piece ever been. So maybe you're gonna have to do a little bit of convincing.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so what I mean is right now, as if right now, literally the day we're talking right now is the best it's ever been. I mean, once Oda comes back, it's going to be then getting better and better. I think it's going to get better. The only thing I'm a little bit scared of is how Oda is going to handle all of these characters and the ending. But other than that, I think it's One Piece is fantastic. It's a fantastic time to be a One Piece fan, right?
Okay,
I mean,
so
it's been always great to be, let's say, a Zoro fan or something like that because you Zoro fans have been eating good since day one.
yeah, since
But
day one.
in the general sense, in a general sense, right now, being a One Piece fan, you gotta be real, man. It's a great time.
Yup. Cheers to that. Before I go further, I just want you to like introduce yourself to the people who might not know you.
Hmm.
So tell us what do you do, what your channel is about, um, favorite One Piece character, and most controversial take.
Okay, so name is SVZ. I started the channel around like what 3 or 4 months ago because I wanted to share my opinion out there. And my channel is a little bit of everything, but I'm going to be starting, addressing power scaling more often. I haven't had the time or chance to do so yet because I wanted to share some of my, let's say, most based opinion, such as the whole Mihawk thing, whether or not his title is legit, or whether or not Sanji can become stronger if he uses his hands, which I think is BS, even though Sanji is my favorite character.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically my channel. I'm working on a couple of videos right now, and I'm about to do like a few tops, like top tens and top 20s and stuff. So power scaling is definitely coming, but the channel is going to be a little bit of everything.
And what's your most controversial take? Unless you want to save that for one of your video, I would love to hear.
Most controversial take. I don't know. I think my most controversial take is that I think that Mihawk right now is the strongest swordsman in history after Ryuma. I think in terms of swordsmanship, nobody is better than them, which includes Shanks and the likes of
Ooh,
Roger. I think
okay.
that that's like controversial.
Chill. So, am I hearing from a Sanji fan?
Okay,
A Sanji fan says Mihawk is stronger than
no.
Roger?
No. Don't start with
Yo,
that,
this
man.
man
Don't start with
cannot
that.
be unbiased. Let me do you some, I'm doing you some advertisements. This man cannot be unbiased. He just says Mihawk is stronger than Roger. So you know this channel is legit. As a Sanji fan. So listen, go subscribe to him. I'm gonna try to put his link in the description. And or you can just type in SVZ because apparently the at symbol does not work. But yeah, good shit, man. Good shit. So basically, what most people were talking about lately, obviously the One Piece live action. I think it's 50-50
Hmm.
for the most part. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I think like
Yeah.
people out here are judging it maybe too quickly, not realizing that this project is different than any live action we've seen so far. What are your take? I haven't talked to you about it at all.
I mean, I like the trailer. It was definitely a lot better than I expected. And let's be honest, I wasn't expecting anything because of the track record that we've had when it comes to live actions. So for me, it looked good. I think we haven't really had many interactions with the other characters. Zoro literally just seemed like Zoro, to be honest. Like he was like the easiest character to nail in terms of the way he
I
is.
think he stole the show.
The
Like in
Luffy
that
one,
trailer, I
I
think
think,
Zoro stole the show. If we go character by character, I think
yeah.
yeah, like he was the MVP of that trailer for sure.
Ah, come on, man. For you, Zoro is the MVP of everything. Let's be honest.
I mean, listen, he had the best lines. He looked the best. Santori, I may not be sure about it, but I was very skeptical of having a green haired character in real life. I thought it would look weird, but he looks like a straight up assassin. Like I just love the
Mm,
look. For Zoro, I validate. That's my opinion.
yeah. What about Sanji? I mean, he was swimming really good in that trailer, bro.
Listen, Sanji is a tough adaptation to make for many reasons, especially in 2023.
Yeah.
The first thing is with the whole Me Too, sexual harassment.
Hmm.
What's the other thing? Like um, LGBTQ. Like we're very
Yeah.
far from it, but just imagine him in the Okama Island. How's that's gonna translate in their big screen? You know what I mean? So he's a
Jesus.
tough character to adapt, but more this season, the fact that he's fights only with kicks and he wears a suit, how are you gonna make that
Yeah.
work in live action? I'm very curious about that. But I mean,
Mm,
it's a prop. It might not be a real dress trend, so that maybe we can look past.
yeah.
In regards to his
That's,
look, he does not have the eyebrows, which I think is a good decision because you kind of want the people who don't know One Piece to immerse well in the live action. Like this is an adaptation; it's not a copy paste. So I'm glad that they
yeah.
didn't give the eyebrows and the hair. He looks kind of corny, but to me, that is who Sanji is. He's supposed to be corny, so that's why I don't have a problem with him. So that's my opinion on
Yeah.
him. What about you?
Yeah, I was not surprised when I didn't see the eyebrows because my first thought is how are you going to make that look good in live action? It's kind of like Goku's hair.
Yeah,
Like you can't make that into live action and not look silly. So and everybody I saw some comments. People are like, but Sanji's eyebrows are so important. I'm like, still, okay, it wasn't important until like 5 to 10 years ago. And One
exactly.
Piece have been going on for like 25 years.
Right.
So for now, where they are, it's completely fine.
And you can find a
Um,
way to like put this genetics stuff like late in the story.
mhm. Yeah, there are many ways they can work they can make this work out, assuming that they actually get that far, which is another thing. I don't know. I don't think that this adaptation is going to go too far.
Then.
But yeah, I no, I'm serious. Okay, think about it like this. Okay, so the first season, based on the trailer we've seen, is essentially going to feature like the entire East Blue saga.
Yeah.
My guess is because we saw the toast they made before entering the Grand Line, right? So that's after Lockdown. So my thought is okay. The thing that for me is going to determine whether or not this show is actually going to go far is how well they're going to do the Alone Park fights. Because
Hmm.
at the end of the day, what people want to see is the Straw Hats fighting in real life. Let's be honest, that's all we want to see.
I
Okay?
beg to differ. I beg to disagree. I'm not
Yeah?
sure if you want me to interject now or you want to finish your train of thoughts.
No, 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 no. Go ahead.
So to me personally, I feel like early One Piece for you, for I, and anybody who started One Piece a long time ago, animation is not what caught our attention. It was really this
Hmm.
magical, the way that Oda speaks about the themes in his stories, the flashback, the chemistry
Yeah.
between the Straw Hats, his world. That's the main thing. Action was not
Hmm.
what caught my attention into getting into One Piece. So I believe for this live action, Um, as long as it can cut the other people, the non One Piece fans, that's what matters the most because One Piece fans are just gonna either watch it or hate watch it. We're gonna be there. I don't think we're the target
Mm,
audience, you know? So that's me personally.
okay.
I think action scenes like we need to be forgiving, especially for a first season. And if we
Yeah.
just like we were forgiving in One Piece back in the days, if we do put our energy into whatever they did right, with time, action
Mhm.
sequences are gonna get better.
That's a fair take. That's a fair take. I didn't think about it like that. I was thinking because I personally am a big like CGI guy type of thing.
Okay,
The movie can literally be the worst ever, but if the action is good, I'm going to watch it at least twice.
I
Okay,
see.
that's my frame of mind. But I see your point,
What did you
and
think about
you
the
know you're
pistol?
right in that sense. Wait, come again?
What did you think about the Gum Gum pistol?
Uh, I don't want to talk about
Oh
that.
shit, you said
I don't know.
ass?
It was. I don't want to talk about that. It was strange.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was just weird. I don't know. It felt okay. So here's the thing. I think the way the actor is like toning his voice, like making it sound a little bit more childish. I don't know. It kind of puts me off. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. With the anime, it works a little bit because Luffy legitimately looks like a kid.
Yeah.
But this kid, what's his name?
He-
Manuel Godoy or something like that. He looks a lot older than his voice is trying to sound.
Okay.
But, however, and this is the benefit of the doubt that I'm going to give him, it could be an artistical choice or a narrative choice so that when Luffy actually gets serious, his voice changes. Maybe. Like when he's, happy Luffy, he sounds like a kid, but when he's angry, he sounds like a grown ass man. I don't know how to explain that. But you get my point, right?
Would you say Luffy is your biggest concern in regard to that live action?
I mean, it's always been he's the main character, and I think in terms of personality and his abilities and how he interacts with the crew and how he plays around, it's probably going to be the hardest thing to kind of adapt. But
Right.
I don't know. Well, based on what I saw, I think that they did a pretty good job. I like the fact that they didn't try to make it simply the manga, the literal manga adaptation. It kind of seemed like it has its own humor and stuff. So that is something I really like.
Fair enough, fair enough. So I think we're both like optimistic in regards to the live action. We're both gonna watch it,
Yeah,
and we both coming in with an open mind. I have a
yeah.
question from one of our viewer. By the way,
Okay.
thanks for all five of you guys who are in. Please give a like to the video. Um,
Yeah, shout
and
out to you guys.
and the question is, who is the final villain in your opinion? Anything after they found the One Piece? Do you want to go first or after?
Hmm. Okay, I'll go. Right now, I am torn. I don't know if the final villain is going to be Emu or is going to be Blackbeard,
Okay, between Emo
right?
and Blackbeard.
So I don't necessarily know the order of events because Blackbeard has been set up for quite some time,
Right.
right? But on the other hand, is like Emu seems like to be literally just everything Luffy stands against, right? Like in every regard. It's like Blackbeard is like the chaotic Luffy,
Hmm.
but Emu is like legit anti-Luffy. So I think it's going to be Emu. I think Blackbeard is going down first, in my opinion.
Okay,
But I don't know. Maybe all that change it to surprise us or something.
so you think it's after the One Piece that fight versus happened?
Mm, I don't. It depends on what we consider the One Piece. Because if the One Piece is just the treasure, then I think it's going to be after. If the One Piece is something that needs to be specifically done, then I think it's going to be after the final war. They're going to quote unquote find
I
it,
see.
right?
Okay,
Because you've heard the theories that the Old Blue and the One Piece could be the same thing,
so
right?
I think what Ringo means is once they go to
Mm-hmm.
Laugh Tale, is this the end? You
Okay.
know, by saying after they found the One Piece, we're talking about like Battle of Laugh Tale. And I
Uh-huh.
would agree with you, but like I need a couple more chapters to be certain of what's gonna be. this, because we might as well
Yeah.
run into like the arc against the world government now. But at the same time, if I'm looking at the other two stories of the big three, who you thought was going to be the
Yeah.
main villain was not the main, was not Madara. Well, he was the main villain, but was not the final villain. I think we can make that distinction. You know what I mean? Like, same for Aizen. Like, a lot of people would consider Aizen the main villain of Bleach, but he wasn't the final villain. So I think Blackbeard can be the main villain, but I do not believe he will be the final villain. I think it'll be a bit lackluster. Just even though Blackbeard is a great villain, don't get me wrong. I love Blackbeard, but
Yeah.
I don't think he's that dude. I just don't think he's that dude.
Yeah. Another thing that I've been thinking is that it could be possible that whatever we find out about Imu is going to be revealed through Blackbeard and his connection with rocks. I think that could be the path that Oda is going, because essentially Luffy's dream, or well, yeah, Luffy's dream is like divided into two steps, right? There is the pirate side and there is the war government side, right? So for Luffy to become the pirate king, he needs to surpass every single pirate, and I think that could be maybe where Oda is going to use Blackbeard as the main villain until Imu comes later. But whatever it is that happened in God Valley and whatever relevance someone like Rocks has, I think it's connected to Imu, and we're going to find it through Blackbeard. That's my frame of thought.
Okay, yeah, I can dig that. Do you have any thoughts about Akainu's position? Because he's also a main contestant when we're talking about final villain. And me personally, I've done a lot of analysis of the animals French channel, and the more I was talking about Akainu, the more my train of thought now leads me to believe Akainu is going to be an ally closer to the end of One Piece.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Akainu might, because a lot of people are looking at Green Bull and Akainu like the same dude. Akainu is just strong, but Green Bull is actually like a different beast. I think Akainu, he's following what he thinks justice is based on his hatred for the pirates. But the more you see him talking about or with the Gorosei, the more you can see how he questions a lot of things, even though it's not verbalized. Akainu is not totally convinced by them. I'm not sure how he's gonna react once he figures out there's this whole Imu guy sitting on the empty throne. It was all a lie. So I think Akainu might take a couple of celestial dragons at some point. Maybe some of the Gods Knights.
Yeah.
He's gonna do a masterclass by the end of One Piece, guarantee you. After his fight against Luffy, of course. But I think he's gonna go down as a hero, which is gonna turn a lot of people. A lot of people are like, "Fuck this guy, he killed." By the end of One Piece, he does this major turnaround, and people are like, "Oda, Goda, masterclass." That's my.
I can see that. I actually did never even thought about that, but I can see that. First of all, Ace had it coming. Okay, Ace got killed because of his own foolishness. That's number one. Maybe that's another controversial thing. Secondly, the idea of Green Bull and Akainu being the same is crazy to me, because what I think from Akainu is that his loyalty is with the Navy, with the Marines specifically. Right? And of course, he works under the Gorosei, and as a soldier that he was, trained and stuff, he respects the chain of command. But like you said, he clearly doesn't respect the Gorosei as people, as authority. Right? He follows the chain of command, but he's against them. And I'm pretty sure that he doesn't like the Celestial Dragons. Actually, I think Green Bull is probably the only Marine that we know of that has explicitly said that he respects the Celestial Dragons. Yeah. Right? So it's not like they work under the world government, but they have their own sense of justice, the way they move themselves. And Akainu taking over the Marines, it was only to fight, the evils that he believed to be the pirates. I think that once we see his true story and how he became the man he become, there could be a huge redemption arc here, because you don't just hate every single pirate unless something very messed up happens to you.
Yeah, there's going to be
down
something.
As go ahead.
No, I just said there's going to be something. Going?
Yeah. So the thing is, Akainu wants essentially, in a way, the same thing Dragon wants and the same thing God wants, which is a fair world, right? And a just world and a world for the innocent to be protected. But he's like Madara in that sense, because at the end of the day, Madara's intentions were noble. He wanted a place where no kids would die in war and stuff. But his way to go about it was wrong. I think that's the same case here.
Okay, I think
Those are my thoughts on Akainu.
yeah, he's quite the case. I mean, you could write an
Mm-hmm.
essay about these Green Admirals, but I
Yeah.
think, which is why I think they're better written so far than the
Mm-hmm.
Yonkos. That's just me.
I agree with you.
Ringo
I agree with
says,
you in that.
"Here's my take. Ain't no way the villain of a manga about pirates is not has to." I'm not disagreeing that Blackbeard is not
Mhm.
the Blackbeard is definitely the main villain. I think that's already established in American. But the main villain
Yeah.
and the final villain is not always the same. Like if you look at Naruto, the main villain is not Sasuke, right? The main villain is
Mhm.
Madara. But after Madara, there was two more opponents, Kaguya and Sasuke. I think that's
Yeah.
the argument is not if Blackbeard is the main villain. He is. That's my take. What you think?
I agree with him. Well, I mean, I agree with you, but I also kind of agree with him. I think that if someone is the main villain, he should also be the final one. But again, right now, there's just so many characters and so many storylines, and that it's hard to see how Oda is going to actually put everything together. So I don't know about that.
Okay, big facts. But you wanted to talk about Sabo. So, do you want to jump straight ahead, talk about Sabo? The biggest flashback in history has finally been revealed. And what do you know? He didn't fight no admirals. He almost got
Yeah.
one-shotted. And turns out the admirals actually fought each other. So, big, big
Yeah.
W for the people
Oh
who believed in
man.
the admirals. I knew there
Oh,
was
I
something
swear.
shady about that story.
Yeah, I swear to God, man. When I read those chapters, it was so good.
It was good.
I
It
don't
was
know
good.
what to tell you, man. I got nothing against Sabo, but I've always wondered, like, the amount of hype. Where did he come from?
Nobody
Like
knows.
being Dragon's number two, I understand that, but it's not that good, and
Nobody
it's
fucking
not that
knows.
good.
Honestly, one what I like about those chapters in the English community is
Hmm.
not that bad. People are more level-headed when it comes to the
Yeah,
admirals. But in the French community, Ringo knows admirals are just getting shit on every day. So to me, it was just a blessing to have these chapters. Put some respect on these guys. But I think
pure
I don't
gold,
know. People
right?
are just dick riding Luffy's brothers. Um, and once Ace died, a lot of people didn't like him. They put all their hopes and dreams in Sabo. So it's
Hmm.
like reading that flashback, the revolutionary were able to escape. A big hype train started for him. But for me, it was always like Luffy escaped whole cake. That didn't mean he was stronger than Big Mom, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's what I said when we did the top 32. That's what I said. That the Flame Emperor title is like the fifth Emperor. There's just too many circumstantial things around that title to use it exclusively for power scaling, right? Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the perception that people got of Sabo is that he got in and got out of Mario Joe alive, but they
Right.
don't know how it went down. How did he escape? You don't know if he just came close to the symbol of Mario Joa and light it up and he ran away. Like they didn't know what happened, and
Right.
that's I think that was part of the problem is the lack of context. For me, is what made me stay put and play it safe with Sal, and I didn't get disappointed. Right,
Right.
because it turns out that the admirals literally did the heavy work in almost every part of that conflict,
Fujitora
including
did a
helping
lot
the
of work for them.
revolutionaries.
I think
Wait, you say something?
I
Yeah.
said Fujitora did a lot of work for them. And concerning the character of Sabo, I mean, listen, he hasn't shown enough. He just hasn't shown enough. Why would I believe that
Yeah.
he's necessarily stronger than a Zoro, for example? When ability wise, Zoro murks him in every single shape or form. At this point in time, I'm thinking like let's fire scale Sanji and Sabo, low key. You know what I mean? Like Sanji has hotter flames,
Hey,
and
hey,
no
hey, come
disrespect,
on, look.
no disrespect, but I'm just saying like Sabo hasn't shown much, you know. So the fact that people just went behind him saying he's Dragon's number two, well, you know, Zoro is Luffy's number two. Which one is most impressive at this
Yeah,
point? And a lot of people are
yeah,
not considering that titles are not always power scaling. You know, like Flame Emperor, that was a good
yeah,
example. It has nothing to do with your strength. That's all Big News Morgan hyping people. He's fifth Emperor.
yeah.
Or Buggy. If Buggy becomes Pirate King, what now? You know, there's always a story or history behind those titles that
Mm-hmm.
people have. And sometimes it's accurate to their strength. Like Kaido and status or Mihawk's. People think his title is
Yeah.
fraudulent now, so maybe you want to give your take on
That's
that. But yeah,
or what? Or Mihawk's title?
yeah, Mihawk's title, and I guess maybe you saw the Morges video, but it was basically saying that now we have no Sujiro, have Shanks'
Mhm.
father, we have Shanks as a matter of fact, and Mihawk
Yeah.
may not be the world's strongest for real, for real. It might just be his reputation.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know what's funny about this? This like the whole Mihawk thing is like one of the most um unmovable opinions that I have. Like my opinion changes depending on the circumstances, like everybody else's. But when it comes to Mihawk, it has never changed, and I think it goes down to character of Zoro. Like his dream is literally to take the title from Mihawk, right? So if Mihawk is not the real deal, then you're telling me that one of the most important characters in the series has been fighting for nothing, basically.
Right.
That's number one. Number two is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, okay. As far as I can remember, in One Piece, well, at least in current time, there's only three characters that hold a world best title, right? Kaido, Whitebeard, and Mihawk, right? Hey, give me a minute. Okay, I'm back. So if you look at those three titles, the only one that is legit is Mihawk's, because okay, and this is my opinion on this. I think
Everybody,
the
I
title
just want
is
to remind
legit.
everybody that just came in this chat. This is a Sanji fan speaking, so open your ears. I continue.
Come on,
No, I'm
man.
just saying.
Yo, Sanji's stronger than Zoro. I'm saying it right now. I'm
God
calling
damn.
it right now.
God damn.
Zoro for world's greatest, Sanji for world's greatest speaker. Believe me. Nah, I'm joking. Anyways, so the title of Mihawk, right? So I believe that a title, when it comes to strength, right, not pirating thing. I'm talking about a title that specifically says strongest or the greatest, something is legit as long as the character has these conditions. Number one, the character is in his prime. Number two, the character is not handicapped by anything. And number three, the character has something distinctive of him that the rest of the people that technically are part of that category do not have. So if you look at Whitebeard, his strongest title when he's introduced, we see him with meds, right? So that already gives us a contrast. Or it's telling us, yeah, he has the title, but he clearly isn't living up to his title, at least not anymore. With Kaido, his title, the narrator specifically says that it's a rumor, right? People say on 1v1 that
Yeah.
on Kaido.
As a matter of
As
fact,
far as I
Kaido's
can tell, there's
title is
nothing.
in quotations. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've noticed. Like the world's strongest creature is in quotations.
Okay. But even better then. So when it comes to Mihawk, there is nothing of such thing, right? So Mihawk has no handicaps. He's not sick. He's not blind. He's not missing an arm. Nothing. That's number one. And number two, as far as I can tell, and as far as I've read, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, it's never been said that people call him the world's greatest, or he's he's known as, or people think he is. They just say he is, right? In the title, in the narrator, even the bounty guy. What's his name? I forget the
Brand
bounty guy
new?
from the Marine. He simply says as the world's strongest swordsman, right? Not as the so-called or as the rumored to be.
Mm-hmm.
So we can say that his title is almost factual. And number three, the distinctive mark, the Black Blade. I find it interesting that throughout One Piece history so far that Oda has given us, there has been only two characters that has held the world's greatest related to swordsmanship, and the two of them have the Black Blade as a signature mark,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mihawk was known as the sword god, which essentially would be just another way to call him the world's greatest because titles depend on the culture and everything, right? It's like I don't know these warrior gods right now. Maybe in modern times there would be Yonkos, but in ancient times they were warrior gods, right? So for me, as long as a swordsman is introduced but doesn't have a black blade, I have Mihawk strong in hand.
Okay.
Simply put.
Yeah, that's really based. I respect
Yeah.
it. Not me who's gonna disagree with you. I'm not sure if you have the YouTube live, but look at the video screen. Oh, not gonna disagree with you on that. Ringos comes back saying Sabo is Yako Commander, first Yako Commander level, but already has Rio. He just needs rooftop moments. Again, Akainu to unlock advanced conquerors and strongest. I think Sabo definitely has the potential to get there. We just need to see more, honestly. Same as Ace.
Yeah.
Ace had the potential to be a Yonko level character. Fight me on this. He had Roger's blood at the end of the day, but yeah, Sabo just needs to stuff a little bit more.
To be honest, I think Ace had greater potential than Sabo. I don't think Sabo is a conqueror.
Of course. Yeah, okay, shit. I just missed that. He said advanced conquest for Sabo. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like he definitely has some good arguments in his favor. Like when somebody takes a godly epithet or a kingly epithet, like Usopp, you know my take on that. Or Sabo, Flame Emperor. That to me that's a hint. And Sabo is definitely like Dragon's successor. In some way, he does have kingly ambition, but I would find it a little bit. It would take away a little bit from Luffy and Ace. Just like I think Sanji having conquerors is not good for the Monster Trio, or Law having conquerors is not good for the Supernova Trio. You know what I mean? Like, I like that there's a distinction there. So I would love for Sabo to just stick with Armin Haki and potentially Logia Awakening.
Where he says, Oda was a genius to put Mihawk as a warlord living in paradise, therefore he is isolated from the Yonko.
Good move. Good move. Honestly, my first read of One Piece, Mihawk being a warlord was always obvious to me. Like, the man is alone. It's like, you could swap him and Shanks. If Shanks was alone, do you really think Shanks would have said no if people asked him to become a warlord? If he was moving alone, he would have said yes. That's what I never really understood, that people are using Mihawk's title as a warlord, downplay him, and say he's not a Yonko. Well, clearly, it's his position.
He is Shichibukai level, bro. That's why they call it
Shichibukai level. You know the BS I'm going through in the French community.
Yeah, I know, with Roger, right?
Which is what I kind of want to talk about next. Let's just hit two birds with one stone. So a good way to get into that topic, you've been following a little bit the activity of Pilier du Vrai. So tell me, what is the craziest take you've seen on that channel?
I don't know. I think your channel has something with railing. Like you guys put railing above everyone. I don't get why, but that's just me. But I think I haven't read many comments because I'm not really well versed in French. I think the craziest thing that I saw was when I saw that poll of Marco being stronger than Akainu, but I think that poll later changed, and Akainu won the poll. But I don't know,
not by far
I don't
enough.
really remember.
The distance wasn't far enough, you know? Like, I think it
Yeah,
was
but
45 55 by the end. 55 Akainu, 45 Marco.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane. See, that's a controversial thing. That like we have little manga panels of Marco tag teaming with another crew member and doing nothing. Like, how is that make? I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Just crazy.
Yeah, so a
And
lot
but
of
I
craziness.
wanted to ask you, how come with the whole Roger thing? Like what happened with the Roger thing at the Pirate King level?
Okay, yeah, so I can talk about that. So essentially, my take on Roger Pirates, or just in general, the term Pirate King level to me is a little bit
Mhm.
off-putting. Here's why. I believe there's only one Pirate King, right? There's only Roger.
Yeah.
So attributing Roger's strength to his title that he achieved, yes, he was strong, but strength is not what got him to his title. Like it is a factor, but like we know how to become Pirate King. Like Bug can become Pirate King. It's a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like Pirate King does not tell us what is your power. I understand it may be something in the community to understand each other, but to me, like it's a logical fallacy to say that there's such thing as Pirate King level. And then that's just the first part of the argument. Second part of the argument is figure out, does the Pirate King Roger, is he like so much stronger than Kaido, or is he Yonko level? Like, where do you place him? And my take was that hey, he may be stronger than Kaido, but if he is, it's not by a margin. Like, you don't need
Hmm.
two Kaidos to defeat a Roger. Like, and that's what I was fighting people about or argumenting.
Mm, okay, I see. So yeah, it goes down to. I think it goes down to what I believe when it comes to Doflamingo, that certain characters, because of their charisma, we give them more credit than they deserve. In Roger's part, I think Roger lives up to the title, but like you said, the title is not entirely related to power.
Thank
It's
you.
not the strongest man in the world title, right? And the moment we see Roger asking Whitebeard to let Odin ride with him to
Beg
go
him
find
on his
Lamptail, which
knees.
is the actual thing that made him the Pirate King. Right? It's like when you see that, you should already question whether or not there is such a level as Pirate King level.
Right.
Because at the end, it's like, okay, you have Whitebeard, who stated to be his equal, and Whitebeard was a young girl.
There you go.
So how do they compare realistically? And another thing that I think, at least the way I think Oda writes or tries to power scale, I'm obviously um, thinking here, is that there has to be a minimum level of power that a character reach where he's no longer an easy fight for absolutely nobody to verse.
Hmm.
I think that is the, let's say, weakest admiral, right? I think Grimble is not going to be an easy fight for Shanks. It doesn't matter how bad he looked with a sneak conquers hike attack.
Right.
Okay, the actual fight is not going to be easy because those people they are expected to perform at a certain level, right? You don't
Hmm.
get to become an admiral if a younger is just going to shit on you just like that. And someone like Kaido, nah, he can't be less than a high div. I'm saying high div just for Roger's honor, but I think he could go extreme.
I like
To be
that
honest,
take. I honestly really
I
love what I'm hearing right now. Keep going.
yeah. So the thing is, at least that's what I think in terms of logically speaking, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because I mean, how can you write a character so strong? Like, what is going to happen next? Because we take Luffy as an example. Luffy just barely beat Kaido. He barely beat him. Let's be honest. He barely beat him, and he's about to be the Pirate King. What did Zoro and Sanji said? Right? They beat Kaido and his crew, and it's just one more step, and Luffy is the Pirate King.
Right.
Logically, yes, Luffy will surpass Roger, but people have this idea that surpassing someone means that you completely power clip them. It's the same
Facts.
thing with Zoro and Mihawk. There are people that say that Prime Zoro is going to meet Dave Mihawk. I've seen a couple of polls
Right.
of people, voting like end of series Sanji versus Mihawk. I think it was in Europe. I
Yeah.
think it was in Canadian play, right? And it's like, well, if Zoro is going to like surpass Mihawk, then yeah, Sanji can like, yeah, that's not how it works.
Exactly.
Okay, no, it's like you take people like Mihawk, Shanks, I would even say Big Mom, the admirals. They are in a level where it's very hard to keep growing because they are almost like at the very very limit of what I consider to be like the max power. Like
Hmm.
if let's say it's 100, right? And Mihawk is like in, let's say, 98. If Zoro surpasses him and he gets 100, the fight's still an extreme diff. 98 is not that far from 100.
Exactly.
You know, Zoro is still above, but they are very close. So people of that caliber, and especially the way Oda writes, they're never going to get power clip that hard.
Nobody's
Katakuri got
one-shotting
power clip, but we
anybody.
know why.
Yeah, like once you reach that level, like especially the Yonko level, you're not getting one shot by anybody in the verse. I don't care who you are. And exactly, it's
No.
people putting Roger on that pedestal for, as you said, the charisma. Maybe Roger, like it's like nostalgic to think about him. I don't know what it is. People have this dude on a fucking pedestal so much that they're trying to say, oh, when he was fighting Whitebeard, he was nerfed because he was sick. Even though it's not stated clearly that him being sick nerfed him against Whitebeard. And the way that I look at it is like, sure, if he was having some symptoms as he was fighting Whitebeard, then you could say the argument he was nerfed. But when you're sick, especially when you have like a terminal illness, some days you're
Yeah.
gonna feel like better than you've ever felt. You know what I mean? And it's not helping you if you fight. It's just gonna like lead you to your death that much faster. But you can have some days
Yeah.
where you feel way better than you've ever felt in your life. The sickness is not gonna nerf you every single day. And when I saw Whitebeard and Roger fight, I didn't see no symptoms like I saw Whitebeard during the war at Marineford. So that's why to me it's a bit
Yeah.
disgenuine to say, yeah, Roger was nerfed when he was fighting Whitebeard during that Oden flashback. So therefore, Roger Prime is stronger than Whitebeard Prime because some people are saying that.
That's just people, wanted to. That's just people going by agenda. In fact, I think it was in episode 0, the one with Shiki. I think it is when they're about to face Shiki, the Roger Pirates. They're surrounded with Shiki's army and everything. Baggy is playing like the bitch card, like always, right? And he tells, what's his name? What's the name of the doctor? Crocus?
Crocus.
Yes. He tells Crocus to check Roger because he's not thinking straight, right? Because of his illness or something like that. And he says that he's sorry, but Roger is in peak condition. That was the whole purpose of Crocus there,
Yeah.
to stabilize his pain, right? And make him seem okay.
So he can
So
stay
I don't
peak.
think that
Yeah.
his illness was affecting his combat power. And like you said, we didn't see any signs or anything.
Not in battle.
So
So yeah, there you go. That was the whole Pirate King
yeah.
thing, and the reason why I wanted to discuss about the French community is because lots of
Mm-hmm.
you have been asking where I've been, and indeed, I started a French channel 4 months ago, and it just makes more sense to put more of my energy towards the French channel because for some reason, the English channel has kind of died off, which doesn't mean I don't want to keep interacting with you guys because there's some people in that community like SVZ, Alan, Straw Hats, and even some of the people in my audience, subscribers. I do want to still hear you guys take, but yeah, it just slowed down. So I'm doing my best to keep up uploading content here, but I'm gonna go towards the live avenues from time to time because handling 2 channels is a lot more time consuming than I thought. So that's why Sigma Delio is not as active as before. Doesn't mean that I've dropped One Piece, that I prefer Demon Slayer or anything like that. One Piece is still my favorite story. But yeah, that's why I'm not as present on this channel. So I hope that answers a lot of questions from people here.
Okay, one question I got for you.
Go crazy.
Who do you think are going to be the final fights for the Monster Trio? Because now looking at the world government, like there's just too many options at this point,
Right,
right?
right. So okay, we've talked about Sabo. Then final fights. Now that we got our celestial knights, the gods knights. Now that they've been used, I don't know. I feel like the final villains for Zoro and Luffy, we already know who they are. Sanji, that is where I'm a bit more hesitant. So I wouldn't be able to tell you for
Oh,
Sanji. For Zoro, I want Mihawk. I think that would be good. Luffy, probably Imu. Sanji, quick guess. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to
Yeah,
say.
come on. You want to say Kizaru. We both know
I kind of wanted to say
that.
Green Bull. Kind of want to say Green Bull. But yeah, that's my stab
And
in the dark.
do you think that it's possible that now that we found out that the Gorosei are actual fighters, do you think we could see like a scenario in Egghead of Luffy versus Sanjay Garcia and Zoro and Sanji versus Kizaru?
100%. 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, before I was Zoro's gonna 1v1 Kizaru, but now that Jay Garcia can actually be a fighter, and Kizaru is his
Mm-hmm.
bodyguard, so some people think Kizaru is stronger. Not all the time. I've seen in some anime the bodyguard being weaker than the person he's protecting, weirdly enough. So yeah, I think Kizaru fighting Luffy, unless Luffy is very tired from his Gear 5th, it's not gonna be very logical because Luffy just defeated Kaido, even though it was with help and all. So I feel like it'd be better for Zoro to have his rematch. What's up, Red Queen? That's an interesting name. It'd be interesting for Zoro to have his rematch. But since Sanji's just been shining from the beginning of that arc, it'd be very sad for him and his people if he just fights Seraphim Jinbei, right? So,
Yo,
um,
listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Uh, Considering the track record that we've had with Sanji, every time Sanji shines, I'm scared. Because I'm like, maybe Oda pulls up some weird ass shit and he makes Sanji looks worse than before. Okay, so I live with that tension every day of my life. So I don't know.
yeah, I think these days for Sanji are behind him. Honestly, I do think the days of Sanji looking bad and terrible are behind him. And it was just a
Great.
rough start in a new world. And I think you agree with me that like there was no way you were competing with Luffy and Zoro after training with Ivankov part time. You know what I mean? So now that Oda has found a organic way to power up Sanji, believable way
Yeah.
to get him back in that race, where it makes sense that he gets stronger than Jinbei, I have no reason to think why Oda would make him look bad at this time in the story. So yeah, I do think Zoro and
All right.
Sanji
Great.
together, you can have Zoro cutting some light beams, clashing with the sword. Now Kizaru disappears. Sanji catches him with his speed. I think that would be like one of the craziest fights in One Piece. So yeah, I do want to see Zoro and Sanji versus Kizaru.
Ringo says the truth is Sanji doesn't have a rival. He might not have a final fight like Luffy and Zoro unless Jin comes back, but Oda forget about him. I don't agree.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's true
if
that
Jin
Sanji
comes
doesn't have
back,
like
like Jin's not coming back as a villain. Like the way he separated from Sanji, he's gonna come back as an ally. You know.
no. Yeah, and what kind of crazy power up he must have to keep up with Sanji now? Like, no, that's not possible.
I mean,
But
I thought you said
yo,
Don Krieg.
seriously,
Yeah, you
man.
said Don Krieg was top one, so Jin should be like a
Yeah,
pretty decent
yes,
fighter by
but
now.
but Dump Creek is different, boy. Dump Creek is built different.
But
Come on,
Jin is his
man.
right
You can't
hand.
compare me Dump Creek with that bum.
Jin is his right hand.
So what?
I'm just saying Jin, like he whooped Sanji's ass back
You
in the
know,
days.
a Whitebeard and what's his name? Marco is Whitebeard's right hand.
Fair
Want to say
enough.
something about that?
I mean, we're trying to help you because Jin he whooped Sanji's ass. So saying that Jin is strong
Nah, he
should be a good
didn't.
thing. He
Listen. He
really
didn't.
did.
He didn't. Come on, man. Come
Alright.
on. The dude literally cried. This nigga that could kill anyone that Don Creek told him. He literally cried because Sanji gave him a good dish.
I mean, you're gonna see it in the
And
live
some good
action
cooking.
again. You're gonna see it in the live action.
Uh, I mean that'll be interesting because I'm really interested to see how they're going to adapt Sanji's fighting style live action. But coming back to the whole Sanji rival, I don't think that Sanji having or not having a rival is going to be relevant because Sanji has never had kind of like a rival step, in any of the arcs.
Whoever is
I
like
mean, whenever we get to an arc,
I was gonna say like
yeah, I
whoever
mean,
is Zoro's rivals, like whoever is the
mhm,
Zoro's opponent's rival, typically is
yeah,
Sanji's fight, even if he comes out of nowhere like Jabura. Which is why I said I'm not
mhm.
sure if we already know about Sanji's final villain, but Mihawk's rival is Shanks. You already know that's not for Sanji. So
Well, I mean, I'm seeing some common things between Shanks and Sanji, so could happen.
Like
I'm
what?
just saying. Like the two of them coming from royal families, and the two of them having ideals that oppose the royal families, and possibly their families being a group of assassins.
I'll be waiting for your video just so I can dislike. I'm kidding. I'm playing with you.
No, man, nah, come on, man. That ain't
I'm
happening. That
playing.
ain't
I'm
happening.
playing.
You
I'm
know.
playing. But I want to see that theory on April's Fool. I want to see that theory.
Yeah, he could drop. He could drop. But the thing with Sanji is that he's like the third strongest fighter he's always been. And even when there wasn't anyone on the scenario, Oda always found somebody. And at this point, I don't think it's necessarily about Sanji having a direct rival. It's more so that Sanji fighting someone that is comparable to Luffy's and Zoro's opponent to some extent, right? Just for Oda to just to put him on that established power level that he wants him to be.
Right.
And there's many options, right? We have Green Bull, we have Kizaru, we have possibly one of the Holy Knights, we have
Yeah.
Getsu, possibly one of the Goroseis.
Okay.
And my favorite option, this guy, what's his name?
Prince
The
Prince
chief
Groose?
of investigation, I think it was.
Is it Prince Groose?
Black Horse. No, wait, what the fuck? No.
Not Prince Groose?
Prince Goose? No, no.
Oh, that's
No,
that's
what?
Kobe's rival.
No. That the fake prince? No, the fake no. No. I was thinking about this guy that was introduced, Black Horse. I really like his vibe. I don't know, and the whole thing with Chief of Intelligence and stuff, and Sanji having the stealth moments. Whoever Sanji's opponent is going to be, I think is going to be related to the Marines.
I think Green Bull is the best shot simply because with Green Bull you can tell a powerful storytelling around the food aspect. And for Sanji's final fight to not have any food element would be very sad. Like one of his best fights was the Jin fight because there was some food element to it. In Whole Cake he shined with his cooking skills. And Green Bull, that he's rotten, like his heart is rotten. He very much thinks like Judge when you think about it. Green Bull's mentality is very similar to Judge. So to me, having Sanji fighting, like you can see a clash of ideals in that fight. And again, the yellow versus green is kind of iconic to me. To have Sanji fight a character that's like heavily, his color is green, So yeah, that's to me why it would be interesting. And even visually, Green Bull is like Pika. He's all over the place at once. Sanji's really fast. Green Bull is supposed to be fireproof. So to me, that would be a very, very interesting battle. And I could see that being a final fight for Sanji.
Yeah, potentially. I could see that. I could see that happening. One question.
Yes.
Do you think that Advanced Conqueror's Haki has broken power scaling?
Broken in what sense? Like now people are all over the place, or they're like unreachable. You cannot touch these people.
In the sense that I feel like in the community that people think that because you have Advanced Conqueror's Haki, you automatically take the W, and nobody can stand a chance if they don't have Advanced Conqueror's Haki. Because you just said that Kizaru fighting Luffy would make no sense because he just I think Kizaru will still give Luffy a very high bid fight, but based on different abilities that he has.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still somewhat of a rock, paper, scissors. Like Advanced Conquerors, if you have the same fighting style as your opponent, you're done for. But if you have abilities that allows you to maneuver around the character, you might have a chance. So that's the best way to explain it. But like if let's say Zoro is a swordsman and he's fighting somebody that's not a swordsman but is a brawler and he does not have Conqueror's Haki, unless his armament Haki is crazy good, he's getting clapped. So you need to have special abilities, and this is where we can look into Awakening, which can be an equalizer. And Advanced Conquerors is ultimately the better power, but with Awakening, you can kind of match these people with Advanced Conquerors. That's how I see it.
Okay, and it will also depend on the individual, right? Because not all conquerors are the same, so not all conquerors Haki have the same level of quality.
I mean, the way that Rayleigh explained it is Conqueror's Haki cannot get stronger on its own. It will just be stronger with the guy, So Conqueror's Haki is as strong as the user. That's how Rayleigh explained it.
Okay. So, for example, if let's say, okay, another question. This is something that I've noticed. People, and this could just by me, but people act as if Advanced Conquerors Haki is an insta kill. Do you agree with
Is a
that?
what? Sorry.
Is an insta kill or
Oh, instant kill.
a one shot deal?
Well, again, it depends on the character. I mean, in order for you to get back up from advanced conquerors, you need to be minimum.
Yeah.
I want to say YC1, like Queen. I mean, King, one of the most dribble character. Flame off or not, he's fucking dribble. It took him 4 slices, and he was done. You know what I mean? So Queen, how many hits can he really take from advanced conquerors? And he's a dribble guy. I feel like it depends on the character, but in power scaling wise, I would say you need to be at least first commander level to get back up from such attacks. If it hits you in the face. What do you think?
Yeah. I think the way I think is that Advanced Conquerors Haki interacts the same way regular Conquerors Haki does, but with direct physical contact. So I think based on the interaction with Green Bull and Yamato and Green Bull and Shanks and Zora and Kaido, Zora and King, what I think is that the stronger your will is, the less damage you take from advanced conquerors hack attacks by default. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can follow.
Because at the end, advanced conquerors hack is about imposing your will to your opponents, right? So you're doing it now in a more physical way. But if your opponent still has a will that is as strong as yours, even if he doesn't have advanced conquerors haki, he's going to take less damage than usual. That's kind of my logic there.
Yeah. No, I mean it's a perfect example of that is Zoro blocking Kaido and Big Mom's technique, which was infused with Advanced Conquerors. He didn't have it at that
Mm-hmm.
time, so because of his will, he it wasn't like an instant
Yeah.
kill. So no, I dig that. Well explained. I did wanted to talk about 2 more topics. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
one now because we kind of touched about Egghead, that stuff. What do you
Yeah.
think is happening on Blackbeard's Island, Garp, and Greens? What's your take on that?
Oh, I think Garp is going to die soon.
Okay.
I think he has to, because Oda is clearly setting up things for the conflict between Blackbeard and Luffy to happen. Like if we follow the track of the things that Blackbeard has been doing. Now he has pudding, so obviously Sanji's
Mm-hmm.
investment is there, and if Sanji's invested, Luffy will be invested.
Yeah.
But there needs to be something more personal. At the end of the day, as much as Luffy hates Blackbeard, Blackbeard didn't kill Ace directly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Blackbeard needs to do something a lot more direct for him to be like this epic fight for Luffy. Because I think that Luffy, there has to be at least one fight where Luffy legitimately desires to kill his opponent, but doesn't do it. If that makes any sense.
You don't think
So
that
I
would be
think
Akainu?
that wait, I don't think he wants to kill Akainu.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think he wants to beat him bad, but to the point of killing him, I'm not
Okay, so
sure.
you think you need
It,
Blackbeard because he already captured Ace, and then if he kills Garp on top of it, that's enough motivation.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because like I said, Akainu is the one that killed Ace. Yes, well, Blackbeard did kind of like the heavy lifting, but Ace got himself killed as well, right? Even Luffy, do you remember Marineford? Like Akainu started teasing and talking trash about Whitebeard, and everybody's like, listen, Ace, you're not Roger. Just let's go,
Yeah.
okay? You can't pull that. You cannot pull that. Let's go. Even Luffy's like, let's go. And the nigga's like, nah, he disrespected my
Yeah.
dad, whatever, and he got clapped. He got killed. Garp, on the other hand, is completely different because Garp is doing it for a legitimate cause, which is to save Kobe, a friend of Luffy as well. So if Garp gets captured and he eventually gets killed by Blackbeard, I think that's going to be hella more personal than the Ace conflict. because the S conflict is more personal with Akainu, not necessarily with Blackbeard, right? So I think there's that missing link, my honest
Yeah.
opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the next time we see Garb, he gets clapped by Aokiji.
Aokiji. Okay. What do you think quickly? Who's stronger between Aokiji and Shiryu of the Rain?
Aokiji.
Okay,
All right,
facts,
come
facts.
on. Like, we can talk about it. But
No, no. Honestly, that actually satisfies me. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think
Okay.
Shiryu of the Rain could be stronger. I just need to see more. Like to me, that cover with all the right-handed men. I don't think Aokiji was included when they put Shiryu of the Rain for two reasons.
No, he wasn't.
For two reasons. First of all, Aokiji was known as an ally of the Blackbeard's pirates, but it wasn't confirmed that he was like YC10. That's one thing. And second of all, it would just be very off-putting if you have all these right hands, then you have Aokiji. Like clearly, that guy Shiryu of the Rain is the face of what is the Zoro opponent. It would have been very off-putting to have Aokiji there, regardless of his power level. So yeah, those are my reasons for this cover because a lot of people are using that as their argument. Shiryu is stronger than, which he could. Magellin was beastly. Shiryu got a power up, might have awakening, but for now he hasn't shown me. Like I don't see Shiryu fighting Kainu for 10 days. Not in a million years.
He's not surviving that.
No, he's not him. He's not him. I'm sorry for the Shiryu fans. But like I think Zoro might even be stronger than Shiryu right now. But when they fight, Shiryu's awakening is gonna be tricky for Zoro to cut. So then Shiryu's gonna get a lot of cheap cuts in. Just like King, like Zoro was a better fighter, but King had that durability. So to me, that's the whole deal with Shiryu.
Yeah, I agree. And also with I totally agree. There's nothing really I can disagree with, except Magellan. I think Magellan was done dirty because of pre-time skip standards. But other than that, Magellan should have been like admiral level. Like you don't get to control literally impel down if you're not admiral level or close to that.
I mean,
but I hope
one could make the argument that he was. Honestly, one could make that argument that he was. Am I believing that? Maybe I believe something maybe like high first commander level. But like, what's really against Magellan? What can you say about him that's like put him, I don't know, like YC3? You can't really like that Hydra form. When he went Hydra, he had Crocodile and Jimbe on the run. Sorry, you.
that was a little bit more. I mean, he was getting smacked by pre-time skip Gear second Luffy.
I mean, that is
no commander. No commander is physically getting hurt by Luffy at that point.
The only reason why this is actually possible is because he's not a Logia. Like Aokiji got kicked by Luffy, but he's Logia, so he didn't do anything on the first fight. So was Magellan hurt by Luffy?
Yeah, I think he bent over.
Okay.
He kneeled.
But he also has diarrhea. No, like, he has issues. You know what I mean? One could make an argument that it was related to that. I don't know. Maybe you're right in that sense, but who knows? Yeah, that's a pretty good argument. That maybe he's not the best durability wise, but like Katakuri is also not the best durability wise. Like okay, durable. He's not the most durable, but offensively, he's matching Animal for me. Because he has the power to watch out Blackbeard and his whole crew. Offensively, that's kind of Yonko level. Maybe I'm going ahead of myself. But offensively, his power is crazy.
I think that like Magellan had an Admiral level, Yonko level. Okay. Kind of like NL in a sense, except NL had the byproduct of crossing paths with Luffy. But other than that, those devil fruits those are devil fruits that you would keep admirals. Right. Yonkos, be honest.
Ringo says we only lack Lafitte's devil fruit. I think he has a mythical stone of the siren from Greek mythology. Voice stuff. I ain't gonna lie, I completely forgot about Lafitte, but he's also a great contestant for Sanji's final opponent. Like Alvaro Pizarro, miss me with that guy. I think Lafitte would be perfect.
Why not Avalo, bro?
Like, listen,
there's a lot of connection.
Lafitte is already like very stealthy, just like Sanji. The way he dresses. I don't know if that's the word, man, but his outfit is very classy. Compared him to Brook, but he plays a very important role in the Blackbeard's crew, and the fact that he has wings could be an interesting fight, like Angel's wings versus Devil's legs. And as he said, that theory of the bird woman that hypnotizes, that I've never heard of, but I prefer Lafitte 100%. Just his look, he's more menacing than Pizarro. Like Pizarro, you're gonna have another Pika. I don't know. Maybe you want to put your stocks in Pizarro, but if you put your stocks in Pizarro, you're gonna go through the same shit that you've been with. People do not respect. People are not gonna respect Pizarro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I with Sanji's fight, I think it could be both. To be honest, I don't have a clear deciding factor in that sense. But Abado Pizarro was a former king, very cruel in the North Blue, yada yada yada. You know the
I
connections
saw
there,
Pizarro getting
right?
one-shotted by Aokiji in that bar. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yes, right.
He
No,
was
no,
he
no.
was out there like an
Let's go with
NPC. He was
Lafitte.
out there like an NPC.
Let's
Like
let's go with Lafitte.
I didn't see Lafitte. Lafitte was not
Sanji's fighting
frozen.
who? Lafitte?
Sorry?
Wait, Sanji's fighting Lafitte. 100%.
Yeah, I didn't see Lafitte frozen. I didn't see Shiryu frozen, but Pizarro had his hands up like an NPC. Not sure if you want to put your guy. Says Pizarro is Robin matchup. Allen Fruit has left him. Pizarro could be Robin matchup. I dig that. And also I think Pizarro there's some connection. Somebody is trying to erase his. So something else. Yeah.
I hope because Oda owes us some legitimately non-monster trio fights.
Non-monster trio fights. I think pretty obvious for Stop and Van Ogre to Flash. Chopper and Doctor Q. Like these two fights are written in the book. Like it's written in the stars for sure. Naomi and Katarina Devon. Yes. Who else? There's Frankie that might fight against San One Wolf. Sunny helping him. Maybe a fusion as his bounty is testing. Then there's Brooke, who to me Brooke may fight what's his name? The disgusting guy with the big ass nose.
Yes.
What's his name?
Pascal.
Yes, because I see that they're both like curves, but he's like a darker version. Like Brooke is a gentleman. He asked to see their panties. Pascal shots, like I don't know, he rubbed me the wrong way, so I think there might.
That dude is shady. 100%. The way he spoke about what's his name? About Black Hancock. Yeah, no, that was like, yeah, you know what? That is some dark stuff right there.
Yeah. The only one is Jinbei. Like who's Jinbei's fighting? You know, that's the only thing. Maybe Jinbei's fighting San John Wolf and Frankie's fighting Burgess, or Jinbei fighting Burgess. It depends how tough is Burgess. You know. So whoever is stronger between San Juan Wolf and Burgess that's who's Jinbei's fighting. Frankie's gonna fight the other one. But like when I'm thinking about a wrestler, I'm thinking about somebody for Frankie.
Makes sense. Which is a weird thing, though. Like the fruit that Oda decided to give Burgess, isn't it a little bit pointless? He has the strength fruit, but I mean, have you seen the Monster Trio pre-time skip?
Yeah.
Like, those guys were performing. I'm like, I'm reading like the Zoro versus Dazbone. Zoro's literally bleeding out, and he lifts the building.
Right. Like, that fruit. I wouldn't say it's pointless. I'd say it's a bit of the opposite because Burgess can now be as strong as he needs to be, basically. Like, when you have that power, you can either be, like, I don't know if you're familiar with My Hero Academia, but super strength, if you just look at the Hulk, technically is the most powerful power you can ever have because the author can choose how much he wants to push that super strength. You know what I mean? But in terms of One Piece, if all you can do now is lift building, then yes, it's a bit underwhelming. Although you do have the potential to push that power in extreme limits.
Yeah, because the funny thing is, like, he uses like Burgess lifting a mountain, right, to kind of show, oh, he has a strength for that. Like, listen, Luffy was like what, moving 2 buildings?
Right.
with his bare hands in Water 7. Garp was boxing mountains just to train for Don Chinzao. It's
Exactly.
like
Like people cut,
Sanji is kicking buildings.
we cut meteors. You know what I mean? Like, what is a mountain? I don't know where he's going with that, but he's not. Some people say he's gonna be Sanji's opponent. Um, Sanji fans, you want to pray that he's not gonna be Sanji's opponent. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Finally, before we close the live, because I there's a lot of white noise. I'm worried for my computer. I need to work around that. But
Yeah.
Law, Kid, the man with the burn scarred, Kid versus Shanks. What are your thoughts?
I think Kid versus Shanks didn't change anything when it comes to power scaling.
Okay, yeah, that's a good place to
Uh,
start.
because people, because you know how the community is and how reactionary they are and all that stuff. Realistically, it's what it proved is that the way we need to power scale is to take into account personalities, right?
Hmm.
If you look at the whole interaction, Shanks started pretty playfully, right? He was like, "Hey," talking about Blackbeard here. It's like, "Hey, yes, up. Are they okay? They're fine. The rest, okay, cool." It wasn't until this idiot decided to attack Shanks' crew after Killer told him, "Listen, you took your arm off, and the boss was not there. You're gonna
Yeah.
kill this. You're gonna die this time." He was like, "Nah, only if I lose." Like, yeah, you're not Luffy, okay?
Yeah.
So he shot at these guys. Shanks reads his intentions, right? Sends his intentions with observation high, and that's when he shoots. He shoots. You know, that's when he's like, okay, killing mode, and he goes for the kill instantly,
Hmm.
right? If every single Yonko did that, if they just went for the kill instantly, there would be no rooftop. To
Yes.
be honest, there
Yes.
would be no
They
rooftop.
were clearly
Like,
playing with
so
their
it didn't
food.
change much.
Hmm. No, I agree. I agree 100%. I think we can say that he's stronger than Big Mom. With that showing, I'm not sure if you agree with me. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't change too much. I'm not saying he destroys Big Mom, but he's definitely stronger than her. I think we have that confirmed at the very
Oh yeah,
least.
no. I mean, it doesn't change much for me because I already had him stronger
Okay, there you
than Big
go.
Mom.
Because some people had
But
him
yeah, but that
third,
helped.
confirming. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was confirming. But the thing is, people are acting like he's far above Kaido. Kaido couldn't one shot the two of them. Like, listen,
Oh,
Kaido
no.
dropped Luffy down like the first time. No bullshit, no laughing, no nothing. He just stood up, took the club, one thunderbolt while Luffy was out.
Right.
Same thing here. Shanks goes there, one divine departure, Kid is out. It's the same showing, right? It only shows you that it's this caliber of fighters, you should always be careful.
Like,
Point blank.
the
And that
most
kid is stupid.
the most important thing that people have to consider when power scaling is the character's intentions and behaviors. A lot of people are forgetting that.
Exactly.
Kaido on the
Yeah.
rooftop, he's playing with his food. He's trying to test their strength. He's eating punches and stuff like that. Shanks, on the other hand, he said on chapter one, like, you can spit on me, I'm okay, but if you're messing with my friends, you're a dead man. Shanks does not play with when it comes
Yeah.
to that. So when he saw that vision, he's sweating, right?
Yeah.
The famous squeak. He squeaks and he goes straight to Kid, and it's over because that was his
Yeah.
friends that he saw just died in front of his eyes with his future sight. That's a scary sight for him.
Yeah.
So it's 100% makes sense. Some people are comparing, well, Mihawk can't even watch at Vista. Mihawk is the same type as Kaido. If he sees a swordsman that's popular and renowned, Mihawk kind of want to test his skills. He want to downplay his strength. And that's actually a very common
Yeah.
trope in anime. You have Akaza in Demon Slayer when he fights Rengoku, he downplay his strength. Or even Luffy with the Seraphim. Like, for some reason, some guys, they just do not start 100%. And what you see with Kid and Shanks just starts 100%. Like, gonna kill this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's the same comparison they did with Roger to kind of say that Shanks is stronger than Roger. It's like the intention is completely different. It's the same technique, but that
Right.
doesn't mean it's being performed at the same level
At
of
the same
strength,
level of strength, yeah.
right?
And let's be
I mean, for
honest. Let's be
example,
honest. Like, Kid is not
Mhm.
Oden. you know? Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, no, he's not built that. He's not built like that.
Does he
No,
even have arm and
no,
haki?
he's
I don't
not
know. I'm
built
kidding.
like that.
He does have arm and haki.
I,
But
I don't know. Huh? I mean, in Film Stampede, he used armament hacking,
yeah,
but in
he
the
does.
manga, there's nowhere to see it.
I believe he does because, or else Big Mom would have killed him with all the damage he took. It was just like invisible or in haki type of thing. But some people are also trying to scale Shanks and Blackbeard based off their performance. And Shanks and Blackbeard are very different fighters, you know, like Blackbeard is very
Mm-hmm.
careless, but for some reason
Yeah.
Blackbeard does not go down. So Shanks, I believe, like would have been if Law had hit Shanks with the same technique, it would have been more damaging to Shanks than it was to Blackbeard. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Blackbeard can take a lot more
Yeah. Well,
damage, and he looks bad. He looks worse than Shanks because you see blood, but that doesn't mean that
mhm.
Law had a real chance against him.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, it goes down to again personalities, right? Blackbeard was careless. He's even called out for it.
Yeah,
He's like, just attack the nigga. Don't stay there, giving him distance and chatting and stuff. And he himself even says that they didn't tell him that Law could do that. He was caught by surprise, right? And Shanks seems to be the opposite. He's someone that plans out. Shanks, I think he had even info
right.
on the Kid Pirates,
Yeah, the
right?
info.
Right. So Shanks is very strategic on how he approaches things. So obviously, it makes sense that he's a lot more effective, at least in the beginning, than what's his name? Than Blackbeard. But Blackbeard is just annoying. He never goes down. So he, at the end of the day, end up winning.
That nigga Shanks, I'm telling you, he's playing the Game of Thrones. So I have a question for you. You
Yeah.
think Shanks? I heard a lot of shit about him waiting to get the One Piece. Some people are saying he was waiting for Kaido to dip because he was scared. Some people are saying that it was for other reasons concerning Joy Boy. Why do you think
Mhm.
Shanks is finally moving now?
I think it's hard to tell because we don't know exactly what Shanks knows, but he clearly knows a lot more than even Bucky. Right? That's
Oh,
that's
that
my
that's
that's my guess.
100%.
He's the one that heard the straw hat. We don't know what is it that Roger told him. That he started crying and stuff. But he probably knows a lot more. So my guess is he probably was waiting for Luffy because you remember when what he said to Rayleigh when
Yeah.
Rayleigh was meeting him. And when Rayleigh met Luffy, he had that flashback. He said that he met a kid that spoke the same words
Hmm.
as what's his name, as Roger,
Right.
right? The exact same words, the exact same secret dream. So obviously he bet on Luffy.
Hmm.
My guess is it could have been possible that he's been waiting so that he can clear the path for Luffy from the Pirate King,
Okay.
or maybe even, put him through a little bit of a test.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he's waiting for Luffy, right?
Yeah.
Because even when he's shown the first poster, right, what he says is, "So you finally come." Right? It's like he's waiting for him.
Shanks is definitely
That's my guess.
the work smart, not hard type of guy. I believe I have a
Yeah.
theory, and I cannot claim the theory 100%. I think it was some guy that I've collabed with, told me in part what he thought, but I remixed it a little bit. So I believe Shanks, what Roger told him pretty much that made him cry was like, "You're not him.
Mhm.
Like you're not the main character. I'm sorry, dude.
Mm.
I thought you was him, but you're
Yeah.
not." And but you can keep the straw hats. I'm not gonna be petty. You can keep the straw hats. And I want you to give it to the actual guy who deserves the straw hats. But I do believe that at
Okay.
some point in time, Shanks Rayleigh thought that Shanks was Joy Boy. I do believe that. They
Mhm.
realized that he was not, and then he told him, Shanks cried and all. Now, the second part of this theory is now, was it Ace? It wasn't Ace, because the Gum Gum chose Luffy, so it's Luffy now. And I believe
Mhm.
that the One Piece is not worth anything if Joy Boy is not here to awake it. So, in some way, shape, or form,
Mhm.
Joy Boy is that key that's going to make the One Piece, whatever it is, useful or
Mhm.
accessible. So that's where the guy's theory
Mhm.
kind of end. And my personal
Mhm.
twist to it was that I believe Shanks, he still wants to be him, you know? Still wants to be Pirate King.
Mhm.
And he needs Luffy to be that key for him to access the One Piece. So once they are in Laugh Tale, and because Luffy is Joy Boy Gear 5, now the One Piece is accessible. Now they can fight
Mhm.
each other, not like in a malicious way, but I do believe that Shanks would still want Luffy to actually be stronger than him, to be deserving of Roger's title. So in that sense, they would still have a
Mhm.
fight. And that's how I picture Shanks and Luffy's altercation. Not in a like I hate you type of deal or I'm crazy evil. But Shanks has his own agenda that
Mm-hmm.
might not align with Luffy. So that's what I would want because if Shanks is just like a Roger 2.0, that's a bit lackluster to me.
Mm-hmm.
I want the character to have his own motivations. Just like the admirals,
Mm-hmm.
how every admiral is different. And again, right now the
Yeah.
admirals are a better written character than the Yonkos. If Shanks is just
Yeah.
oh Roger's will 2.0, again it's gonna be lackluster to me. So that's what I think
Mm-hmm.
this is all about.
Do you think that may have been influenced by Shanks finding out he's a celestial dragon?
Oh, that's actually a very good. Like, I mean, if I was Roger, yes, this would have influenced my take. But I don't think Roger. I think he's very much like Whitebeard. Like, whoever is your father does not matter. You know?
No, I meant for Shanks, like his decision to go after the One Piece, but not be just Roger 2.0. Do you think it would have something to do with
I
being
see what you
a
mean.
celestial dragon?
Oh, that would be very interesting, actually. I haven't
Mhm.
made that connection, but I definitely want to dive deep into Frank's backstory.
Right? Because we don't know if the Roger Pirates told him. I guess they did because he remembers finding them being found in the chest or something. So
Yeah,
they must have told him.
yeah.
But it's very likely he tried to visit uh Mario at some point, 100%.
Yeah, he did. He
I
did
think.
in the referee, you know? So he knows his way.
Well, I mean, have you heard those theories about that possibly being just a Shanks family member and not Shanks
I
himself?
don't believe in that.
I'm
That
starting
was
to
him.
believe that.
That was him.
I mean, Sanji Sanji has literally three other identical copies with just different hair. It could
Yeah.
happen.
I'm not trying to see the same
It could
plot line
happen.
twice. Like you said, they already have royal families. They already despite their
Yeah.
son. I don't want to see again another twin. Like this is just recycling. That's like Haida Kubo level of storytelling. Guy who wrote Bleach. No shade, I love Bleach. But yeah, I don't want to see some storyline being recycled. This guy, I think it was Shanks. And when Shanks pulled up to Marineford, and Goku said, "Oh, because it's you, redhead, we'll do it this time." What do you mean because it's
Oh,
you?
okay.
You know, I think it's because you're a celestial dragon, or at least you're the son of some celestial dragon. And this can explain why Shanks does not need such big as a fleet than the other Yonkos. Because he has some sort of immunity when it comes to what the Marines can do to him. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like he still has a
yeah.
bounty, but I don't know, the way that it works, it kind of throws me off. Like, why is your fleet so weak
Right.
and you're a Yonko? It makes no sense.
Well, it could be his particular way to his particular, let's say, pirate way, right? Because he grew up with Roger, and Roger did not have a fleet, despite being a pirate king. He only had, that crew in the Order Jackson, and this is the same thing that Luffy's going for. Oh, that gave Luffy a crew, but Luffy didn't want it,
But
right? Zoro is the one that
Luffy
pretty
does have
much
a
settled
fleet
things
though.
because Zoro wanted to drink,
Luffy has a fleet though.
but yeah, he has, but he didn't want to.
Right, right.
Right? So I think it could be that in that sense that he's acting like, let's say, Whitebeard, in the sense that, yeah, you know what, you can say you work for my fleet, use my name, I'll protect you, yada yada yada, but he doesn't use them as such, right? Because his crew is more than enough.
Yeah.
That's kind of my take, but it could be
Okay. Yeah.
it could also be what you said.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch to say that he needs a fleet to protect him, but I definitely think that what made Sengoku like I don't think Sengoku would have said to Big Mom because it's you, Big Mom, will end the war. He
Big
might have.
Mom would have come here to just continue the war, man.
Yeah,
Big Mom would have come here like, give me all your food or you're dead.
exactly. And
Pretty
like
much.
let's pretend she had came to say, "Oh, let's stop the war." Sengoku might have stopped in the sense that like we're already weakened, but he definitely gives Shanks some privilege. I don't know what it is. And talking about Big
Yeah.
Mom, Ringo asked, "Do you have Big Mom coming back?"
Right now, I honestly don't know. I think she can definitely come back because that kind of left that door open,
Yeah,
and there is a potential story arc with her and Elba. But she could also be dead because what other use is she going to? Is Oda going to make for him? Kaido
right.
is definitely dead. The problem is Big Mom and Kaido. They are just too powerful to be alive and just do nothing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Not have any influence, no nothing. So I don't know. I
If
think she could come back, but it's very likely she's dead.
if they come back like some final war type ordeal where they might be fighting against like the ancient weapon, something like that, because they're very strong, but I don't see them fighting against opponents per se, unless the God's Knights are very powerful, which I doubt. Not all of them at the very least. So yeah, me,
Yo,
you know
with
my take. I hope Big Mom stays dead. But
mhm.
like Oda, he definitely find a convenient way to be like, if she's dead, she's dead. But if I need her, I can bring her back. Maybe he doesn't even know yet.
Yeah.
Maybe he's talking with his editors what to do with these two characters. But
Speaking
yeah,
of, what do you think of the Holy Knight in terms of power?
honestly, if the nines are as strong as Yanko's, it makes absolutely zero sense. And a lot of people
Mhm.
have said nine Holy Knights, nine Straw Hats. So I think they're just the strongest, they are the fighters within the Celestial Dragons. So you might have
Mhm.
some who are Commander's level, maybe one is Admiral level, but I don't see anything more than that. And these guys are characters who could potentially keep guys like Dragons busy. Like we never really thought, how is Dragons are gonna get his feet? How can we showcase his dragon powers?
Yeah.
So when you introduce a new faction of characters, I'd be very surprised, but I think it'd be very neat if the Straw Hats don't even fight the Holy Knight. And this is Sabo's war. Give Sabo, give Dragon, give Karasu, give them some feats against these Holy Knights characters.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised, but I think that would be the best. What about
Okay.
you?
Yeah, I think no, I think I've been done dirty with CP0 because I had high hopes for CP0. Do you remember? Do you remember the talks like the scarf guy being Yonko level, the leader, CP? I've been done dirty with them, so I don't trust nobody anymore.
Right, right.
Okay? So I don't know where they stand. I think we are in a time now where like Yonko Commander is kind of the standard of power, so most of them are going to be in that range. I don't think they're going to be weaker.
Yeah.
I also think that they could be the Holy Knights could actually be the, let's say, strongest members of the most important Celestial Dragon families, and they come together and they form that squad. And I think they are going to be exclusively for the revolutionary.
I
Right?
hope
Oda was
so.
already giving us like that. We have Sabo, we have Dragon. I don't think Sabo is fighting Akainu. I have a video on that. I think it's a waste of potential, to be honest. So he has to go with the Holy Knights. And they even say that Sabo is going to be the main target
Yeah.
of the Holy Knights.
It's their
Right?
war.
So Oda
Honestly, it's their
to
war.
yeah, exactly. They are the ones directly going after the world government. Well, let's say after the world nobles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is even something that Robin reinstates when Robin is talking about the things that happened in the reverie. He says that I don't believe Sabo has killed King Cobra because they are targeting the Celestial Dragons,
Mm-hmm.
not the world government, not the Marines, but the Celestial Dragons. The Straw Hats, they are pirates, so the Marines are the fight, right? But at the same time, Emu and the warrior guys. Okay, so I have to ask, what do you think those titles mean? Because how am I supposed to interpret the warrior god of agriculture or whatever the hell it is? He fights with vegetables or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Like,
if
how
it's
am I
power
supposed to interpret
related.
that title?
I'm really not sure if it's power related. I think it's just their function, like their department. What is their
Mm-hmm.
focus? Like one guy is science, like he's Vegapunk. I said in the past, I think that's gonna be the post get Vegapunk. I think it just get some
Oh,
knowledge, in terms of yeah, it's like a department. It's like an office job.
yeah.
All have their time. All have what they're. Not sure if it's
You,
power
you know
wise.
what I just you know what I just thought? Do you think because I think because Zoro has pretty much been confirmed to be a descendant of Ryuma, directly sorry for your dream of Zoro being a regular Josmo, right? Is not happening.
Right.
Do you think that this guy, the nose judo guy, he has the judo, so he's probably from Wano, or he has descendants in Wano, do you think that he met Ryuma?
Those
Or
Zoro?
he's going to establish some connection with Zoro through Ryuma or something like that?
I can see him having this Ishidai Sandai Kitetsu. I can see him having Ishidai Iketsu. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this. No, there's three sorts of
I don't know. I think it's Sandai Kitetsu,
Sandai
Nidai
Kitetsu.
Kitetsu, and
Yeah.
uh,
I don't know what's
now Sandai is
other
the
one.
Zoro. Nidai is the one that was in Wano,
Yes.
and
I think it's Ichidai.
Ichidai.
I don't know.
Okay.
If somebody's Japanese, please help us out. But yeah, it'd be. I think that's the connection here. He has definitely one of these swords, and depends if the Gorosei has been around forever, and for some reason, like nobody's questioning that these guys just don't die. But yeah, I just need to wait for more lore on that. The thing with One Piece is, I don't want to theorize on absolutely every single thing, because I'm just gonna have
Yeah.
and some things I just want to let Oda surprise me on. When it comes to power, it's more my domain. I can theorize on who has haki, but the Gorosei I have how strong they are. I'm waiting with more information. Shodai Kitetsu. Okay,
I know.
Okay, so Shodai Kitetsu.
Yeah, that's the name. I know they're stronger than Sawa, and for me, that's all I need. That makes me happy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And honestly, guys, I just shared SVZ channel. If you guys want to give him some love,
Thank you, man.
and
Appreciate
we've been
it.
going on for 91 minutes. So this is a whole football game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. 6 likes, 6 viewers. That's perfect. And yeah, if you ever want to do a live on your channel, I'd be happy to come around. And I'm not sure if you guys have some questions for us before we let go of you guys. Answer some questions before closing the live. Or maybe you have something you want to say?
No. I'm good, man. It was a very nice conversation. It was a long due conversation, bro. Because
Yes.
you ghost me, man. I don't have you around anymore.
I mean, I saw you in the French channel, so I was like, okay, he's still my friend. But yeah, a lot to talk about, and I think we covered pretty much everything that happened to the best of our abilities. I mean, there's the Queen's Lily stuff. I think maybe for another time. But yeah, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining the live, and yeah, we'll catch you.
Wait. I got one last question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you heard this weird stuff that was going on about Law and Sanji having Queen's Haki or something like that? What is that BS?
Queen's Haki?
Queen's Haki. Have you heard that?
I honestly I heard it, but I pretended like I never did. So yeah, that's my take on Queen's Haki. But I don't know. Do you want to entertain this conversation?
Dude.
Do you really want to entertain
that conversation? No. I was just thinking about the desperation.
I don't want to. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose my subscribers. Let's not laugh about. All right. Peace out, guys. Thank you, Ringo, for being active. We appreciate you.
Shout out to you, Ringo. You're the man.
Okay.